guys, welcome to Vlogmas day 9. Today I thought it would be fun to do a little get ready with me, putting on some makeup because I have not done one of these in quite a while. Rest in peace, Beauty by Sabrina. I'm going to work. I normally do not put a ton of makeup on for work, especially nowadays since we have to wear a mask. I don't want it to be super boring, so I'm just going to put on a little bit more than usual. I always do my brows off camera because they take quite a while to do. But I kind of wanted to show you guys how my brows look without any makeup on. I mean, you've seen it all the time, but because actually I'm getting my brows done next week, and that's coming up very soon. I've been wanting to get my brows either microbladed or do like a powder ombre for the longest time, ever since getting my lashes done and stuff. I just love not having to spend so much time doing my makeup. And I know that after getting lashes done, it cut my makeup time in half, like literally in half. It used to take me about an hour to an hour and a half to do a full face of makeup with lashes and everything. Since getting my lashes, it only takes me about 30 minutes, or I could even do 10 to 20 minutes if I'm not putting on a lot. And then I know by getting my brows done and not having to put makeup on my brows anymore, I'll probably cut my time even shorter, which would be absolutely amazing for me. I'm actually getting them done by my coworker's sister, who's been doing brows for a couple of years, and she's pretty well known in mostly like in a different city than I'm in, but she recently moved to Seattle, so she's a lot closer now, which is awesome. And then for Black Friday, or it was either Black Friday or Cyber Monday, she was doing a deal where you could get a full service done for 20% off, so I thought this would be the perfect time to finally get them done. And it's actually Nigel's Christmas gift to me because he's paying for it, so thanks babe. I'm actually doing the powder ombre. I just like the look of it more. Or if you have any questions about anything that I'm using, feel free to comment. I always reply fairly quickly. Makeup is fun to do, but there's like certain parts that are just so like tedious and annoying, as brows and putting on lashes. I am just so happy that I'm finally getting it done. Even when I go to work, I don't even put eyeshadow on anymore, which is new. I used to always put eyeshadow on every single day. I only do it for special occasions or when I'm filming. I'm actually quite surprised in myself for completing Vlogmas. Well, I haven't completed it yet, but so far I feel like I've been doing better than I thought I would. It's been so many times this month where I just thought about quitting. Then Nigel's the one who's always like pushing me. He's like, babe, you've already gone this far, I might as well just finish. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I've actually been struggling a little bit with my YouTube because I see that my channel is growing, but I don't get a lot of engagement, and sometimes I get so sad when I go on like other YouTubers or like smaller YouTubers channels and see that they get like hundreds of comments, and I'm like, I only get like 1 to 2 comments for every video, and it just makes me sad because I wish I could talk with my subscribers more to get to know them more. But I guess I'm just gonna have to wait and continue to let my channel grow and just wait it out. Like, there's been some times where I really thought about quitting again, just because I felt like I was putting in so much time and hard work in my videos, and I felt like nobody was really noticing. But I do get so much support from my friends and family, because I know that they all watch, or most of them watch my videos, and it just makes me so happy that at least they're watching, you know, and support what I do. So I've shared this before, but I use this face primer from Catrice called Keep Me Matte. Sorry, the packaging is dirty, it's disgusting, I know. It says it's oil free, which is the reason why I use it on my eyes, because you don't want to apply any oil products around or on your eyes when you have lash extensions. Actually, let me just do the whole face with this. I was like wondering what I should talk about in this video that will seem kind of interesting, and I was like, maybe I should start talking a little bit more about astrology, because I always talk about making videos on it, but I haven't done one yet, just because I want to do one with Nigel, and I kind of want to do one with my sister as well because she's getting into it as well. But I don't know, maybe for this video I'll kind of just talk about my signs in particular, because I want to do a whole like series on me talking about all the signs and stuff, because I have a lot to say about all the signs. But let's talk about my signs real quick. So in case you don't know about astrology, everyone has a birth chart. Everyone has a sun, moon, and rising, and they have all the planets in their chart are aligned with a certain house and a certain sign. So just think of it as everyone has different parts of their personality that come out in different situations or around different people. It just makes up your whole persona and your personality. We're not gonna get too into it because I, for one, am still learning about the planets and alignments and stuff, that's like the one thing that I struggle with learning about. I'm just gonna stick to the basic sun, moon, and rising. The sun sign is pretty much what everyone already knows. It's like whatever day and month you were born in, what sign you are. So I was born August 11th, so my sun sign is Leo. Your moon sign, you can find out usually without your time of birth if you just go on Google and like moon sign calculator or something, but if you want like a really accurate, then you should find your time of birth. So my sun sign is Leo, and Leo represents kind of like your ego, the basics of like who you are as a person and stuff, while your moon sign is what controls your emotions. So your emotions, like when you're reacting to something that happens, or just your emotions and feelings in general. Your rising sign, which you need to know your time of birth to figure out your rising sign, but it is people's first impression when they meet you and they don't really know who you are. So it's like the first vibe or first impression that they get from meeting you. I'm gonna use this palette today just to be festive because December. Too Faced Gingerbread Extra Spicy. I actually really love this for all year round because it's very warm toned. You guys know I love warm toned eyeshadows, but we're gonna do that. Let's talk about my sun sign. My Leos out there, low key, I'm not the biggest fan of Leos, and I can say that because I'm a Leo myself. No offense, but I'm one of the more low-key Leos because I resonate more with the other signs in my birth chart rather than a Leo. Leos, they're very outgoing, outspoken, they're very creative, they love attention, they love being the center of attention, they're entertainers, and I think me just being a YouTuber is enough to be obvious that I'm a Leo. But I hate attention. I hate being the center of attention unless it's like my birthday, or if I'm the center of attention for whatever is being celebrated. So maybe my birthday, or like when I got engaged, or if I'm being celebrated in some way, then of course I want the attention on me. But any other day or time, I do not like attention at all. Even like if we're doing something simple as me and Nigel going to a restaurant, I actually do not like when you open the door for me so that I'm the first one to walk in, because I hate when I walk into a restaurant or like any sort of event or something and then everyone just stares at you when you walk in. Like, I absolutely hate that. So sometimes I will tell Nigel to just go ahead and enter through a door without me because I do not want to be the first person that everyone looks at. I never ever really resonated with me being a Leo. The only time that I ever really see my Leo come out is with my family, and they can 100% attest for this that I do like the attention and I do act like a princess around my family, but that's pretty much it. Like, I don't really act that way around my friends or around strangers, my coworkers. My family's the only people who see that part of me, and of course Nigel, because Nigel sees like all of my personalities. But every sign has their pros and cons, and I don't want to be biased and like say I like one sign more than the other and stuff, but when it comes to Leos, like, I'm very low-key and more reserved. So when someone's like bam in my face, like that sort of personality, it makes me feel a little overwhelmed and uncomfortable because I'm more chill and laid back. And I find that this happens more with male Leos. I feel like male Leos are more like, they fit the description more, whereas a lot of the girl Leos I've met, they're a little bit more toned down. I have met some female Leos who were kind of crazy, but one thing I do admire about Leos is how confident they are, because I aspire to be that, because there's a lot of insecurities and stuff that I'm working on, more particularly in my personality, because I am very shy, and I actually hate that about myself. I wish I could be more outgoing and be able to make conversation with strangers or like people and just build more relationships and connections with people, because I think it's so cool and fascinating when people are able to do that so easily. So I do aspire to be like that, and that's something that I'm still trying to work on. That's like the one thing that I do admire about Leos and stuff. I wish I could bring that personality trait out of my sign more. And then also my moon sign, Libra. So I actually get along really well with all air signs. Actually, Libras get along with pretty much everyone because they are the sign of balance, fairness, and they are the type to always want to see everyone's perspective or point of view. They're not really the ones to take sides in situations, which I 100% agree with. Like, I try really hard to not take sides when it comes to different situations where there's like more than one person involved. I like to see both sides before having an opinion. And even if I do have an opinion, I kind of just want people to get along all the time and there not to be any conflict. So that's like one of the most important things to me when it comes to like my friends and family and the people around me. I just want everyone to get along. I understand that, you know, personalities clash and not everyone can get along, but someone's calling me. My bestie's calling me. Hello?
Hi. You know how old Jimmy's turning?
27.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I'm like such a non-confrontational person, but that clashes with my Leo because Leos are very outspoken, but I am not outspoken unless I really feel like something needs to be said. I get along really well with Libras because that part of me is very true to what my personality is. And the one thing that I just can't stand about Libras, I fit this personality trait like very well, is that they're people pleasers. So one thing that bothers me about other Libras, or I get bothered with myself, because I feel like it's good to be people pleaser because you just want the people around you to be happy and to be satisfied and stuff, but it can turn into a toxic trait, especially when it comes to like little things. Like if somebody wants your opinion about something small, like, hey, try this food that I make, how do you feel about it? And if you lie and sugarcoat it and tell them, oh my god, it's so good, even though it tastes like shit, like, they're gonna think that their food tastes good, you know? So you should just be honest. So that's definitely something I need to work on as well. I don't think I take it that far and like lie, but sometimes I just need to be more honest. So I'm afraid of hurting people's feelings too, and because I just don't like hurting people or like hurting their feelings. They're going to appreciate more if you're just honest with them, and if you're afraid of hurting their feelings, just give them feedback like right after, like, oh, I like this about it, but this is what I don't like about it, instead of just straight up lying to them and that their food is good or that their outfit looks good even though it doesn't. That's definitely a Libra trait. Libras definitely have to be careful with that because it can really hurt a lot of people by being too much of a people pleaser. Like, they think they're not doing it, but if you do it a lot, then you just gotta be careful. Let's move on to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius I actually don't know too much about, but when I first found out my rising sign was Sagittarius, I was like, what the heck? I didn't really agree with it and stuff, because when I think of Sagittarius, the first thought that comes to my mind is they love adventure. They're very spontaneous. And I've also kind of noticed Sagittarius people, no offense, can be quite bitchy when they want to be. And I'm only saying this because a lot of the Sagittarius people I've met, especially girls, have that demeanor where they kind of have like an attitude. I can think of 4 Sagittarius girls in my life who come off that way, but they really are not that bitchy. They're actually super nice, but they just come off that way. And I think it kind of made sense to me because I've been told for the longest time that I have resting bitch face, and obviously with me having that as my rising sign, people are gonna think that I'm mean when they first meet me, even though I feel like I'm genuinely like one of the most nicest people. But yeah, so it kind of made more sense to me in that perspective. So, but a lot of fire signs, especially I think Aries and Sagittarius, they are very blunt, very fiery. That can kind of come out as being bitchy or having an attitude, when really like they don't realize that they're doing it. I think just because my Libra is always like, what I give out to people, I kind of expect to receive back. So I'll use an example. So when I text or message or email people, I always try to make it so that I sound very friendly. I'm always adding emojis to every message I send or exclamation points because I want them to feel like I'm giving them a very expressive, kind message. So whenever I'm like texting someone or like messaging someone and I don't get that in return, and they're very just like short, they don't really use emojis and stuff, I kind of take it as them coming off kind of, you know, like they don't want to talk to me. For example, one time I was texting my friend, and he might watch this video, I don't know, but fire sign. And one time I asked him for a favor, and normally if someone was asking me for a favor and like I wasn't able to fulfill that favor for them because I was busy or something, I would probably say something like, oh my gosh, like I wish I could but I can't because so and so, I'm really really sorry, but try asking, you know, someone else. So I asked my friend for a favor and he couldn't do it because he was busy. His response was like he literally put I'm doing something with someone, and then he didn't like put any emojis, he didn't put like, oh I'm sorry, stuff like that. And at first I got kind of like butthurt about it because I'm like, oh. Then I got over it because I was like, I know he didn't mean it personally, he didn't mean to like hurt my feelings personally, but that's just the way like he types and stuff. But it just like little things like that, like fire signs are very blunt and they don't really sugarcoat things like Libras would. Since I resonate so much with my Libra moon, I kind of have to learn to not take things so personally, which I'm getting really better at. But before, I would get my feelings hurt so much like all the time because I was so sensitive to little things like that. Yeah, so that is definitely another Libra trait, is I feel like they will sometimes take things personally if they feel like they're not getting back what they're giving, if that makes any sense. I hope that was making any sense. But so I'm still learning about Sagittarius people, but the one thing I do admire, as well as like with all the other fire signs, is how would I describe this, like they are very much like go-getters. They have goals for themselves and they're hardworking and stuff, and I really admire that about those type of people because I aspire to be that, and I wish I could call myself a girl boss, but I don't really consider myself one. Oh, and if you happen to be one of these signs, please don't take it personally. I'm just saying what I feel from what I've learned about myself, what I've learned about others, and what I've read, because I do a lot of research on astrology and stuff, because I promise I'm not trying to offend or hurt anyone. But even though I've covered my sun, moon, and rising, if you were to look at my birth chart, you would see that I have a lot of Scorpio aspects, and that's something that I kind of learned about myself, is I talk a lot about astrology to people like on Reddit and stuff, and I always wondered why I come off very shy, or I am very shy and reserved, and I am very introverted, which doesn't line up with my Leo, Libra, or Sagittarius, because all three of those signs are known to be very social. So I always wondered, like, why do I hate being around people when all three of my signs very much like to be around social settings and stuff? And then I found out it's because if you looked at my birth chart, a lot of Scorpio aspects, and Scorpios are very private, can be a little bit more reserved. So I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. So I do resonate with Scorpios a lot, that aspect. So that explains why I am very introverted. So if you guys are learning about astrology or want to learn, and you find that you don't resonate with three of your signs, your main signs, then you would have to take a look at your birth chart and just look at the aspects and like the planets and stuff, and see if you resonate with any of the other signs that you have. You can learn so much about yourself by looking at your birth chart, and I know that when you look at it for the first time, it's going to feel very overwhelming and confusing, and I still feel that way when I look at my birth chart. There's a lot of like websites and like apps and stuff that you can go to, it has like a description of each planet and each house and sign and stuff, and what that means, and you can just find out so much things about yourself that you never really thought of, that you never really knew about. And I think it's just so amazing to learn about yourself on this much of a deeper level. I started to learn about astrology I think maybe 2 years ago, and ever since I feel that I've grown so much as a person, and I'm more self-aware of myself and like my personality because of astrology, and that's why it pretty much changed my life and my perspective on how I see myself, how I see other people, how I see the world. And I feel like it's opened up so many doors to just self-awareness, and I feel like that's so important. There's gonna be pros and cons to everyone. everyone has some sort of toxic trait about themselves, and some people are aware of it and some people aren't aware of it. And trust me, like, learning about myself, there was so many toxic traits that I learned about myself that I am now aware of, and that I'm trying to change and like better myself because I know what those traits are. I don't know, I think astrology is just so amazing, and I love meeting people who are into it as much as I am, because I feel like a lot of the people in my life either don't believe in it or just not into it as much as I am. And that's fine. Like, I can understand why people, some people could be skeptical about it. Like, I'm telling you guys right now, it really has changed my life, and for the better, definitely. So yeah, and I have so many books. I probably have over a dozen books on just about like astrology and stuff, and I think that's also, it's opened up doors to like me reading tarot and me like learning about crystals and stuff. I usually do not put any lipstick on anymore because there's no point when I'm wearing a mask, but for the sake of this video, I'll just show you guys what I have been doing for my lip product lately. Last couple of videos that you saw me wear makeup, this is the lip combo that I did. I just used a MAC lip liner. This one is in Whirl. Sometimes I'll use Soar. Those are my two favorites. So I'll just line my lips. If you guys are wondering, I do overline it just a little bit. Also because my upper lip, they're uneven, so I just try to even it out as much as possible. I've actually thought about getting lip injections, but obviously not now. But I just want to like even out my upper lip and stuff because it bothers me how it's uneven. If I ever were to get lip injections, I don't want like super jumbo lips, you know? My hands are shaking because I had coffee today. And then I use the Laneige lip mask. I'll just put it on. And that's pretty much all I do. So I just do the Laneige lip mask. There's no color to it, it's just clear. So that is pretty much that. Here's the finished look. Sorry if I look washed out. I do not have good lighting right now, but what time is it? Oh shoot, I'm late for work. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content, and I will see you guys in the next Vlogmas. Bye. Hey guys, sorry, so I almost forgot to do the subbie shout out. I'm actually back from work. It is 8:41 right now, but I'm gonna do that real quick before this video ends. So the first subscriber shout out is gonna go to Rafaela Malvin. Thank you, Rafaela. Next subbie shout out goes to Brenda Palmer. Thank you so much, Brenda. That concludes my video. If you guys want to be featured in a future subbie shout out, then of course make sure that you have your settings set so that I get notified when you subscribe. So yeah, thanks again. I'll see you guys in the next Vlogmas. Bye.